First up, fighter jets. Mikoyan-Gorevich MiG-15. This trained the first North Vietnamese jet pilots to face US wings. It was fast and agile. It marked a massive leap for the resistance in the skies. Mikoyan-Gorevich MiG-17. This fighter was a nightmare for American pilots in tight dogfights. Slower than US jets, it could turn inside them. Its cannons shredded heavy bombers. Mikoyan-Gorevich MiG-19. The first supersonic fighter used to intercept US strike groups at high speed. It was hard to fly, but deadly against the American air campaign. Mikoyan-Gorevich MiG-21, a sleek machine that became the premier interceptor against the US. It specialized in hit-and-run missile attacks. It was the top threat to air power. Northrop F-5 Freedom Fighter. These were seized from the south after the fall of Saigon. They were light and easy to fly. They became a trophy of the final victory over the US. Let's move on to attack aircraft and bombers. Ilyushin Il-28. This jet bomber gave the North a way to strike back at US naval forces. Used for coastal patrols, it was a heavy threat to the American fleet. Antonov An-2. This biplane was stealthy and quiet. It flew low to evade US radar systems. It was used for daring night raids against American ships and radar bases. Douglas A-1 Sky Raider. A piston beast seized from the south, it carried more bombs than some jets and could loiter for hours. It was a tough prize of the American retreat. Cessna A-37 Dragonfly. Small but deadly for hitting retreating forces. Its miniguns had a high rate of fire. It was a perfect tool for jungle strikes against US allies. North American T-28 Trojan. A trainer turned attacker that saw early action in the war. It was rugged and simple. It was used to spot American movements in the thick jungle. Continuing with gunships, captured US. Douglas AC-47 Spooky. A flying fortress of rapid-fire guns taken from the south. It could rain down thousands of rounds. It was a terrifying prize of the American war. Fairchild AC-119 Shadow Stinger. A heavy gunship seized from the south. It had night vision and heavy cannons. It was used against the remnants of US-backed forces after sunset. Now let's look at helicopters. MiL-Me-1. This small helicopter was the first of its kind for the North. It trained the pilots who would fly missions against the massive US air armada. MiL-Me-4. A reliable workhorse for the North's transport needs. It moved troops and gear over the jungle. It bypassed US ground blockades with ease. MiL-Me-6. A giant used to airlift North Vietnamese MiGs to hidden bases. This helped the jets avoid US bombing raids. It was a master of heavy lifting. MiL-Me-8, a legendary transport built for harsh jungle combat. It became the backbone for moving the North's troops. It was the rival to the American Hueys. Bell UH-1 Iroquois, the iconic symbol of the US air war. Captured units were used for transport. This helicopter defined the mobility of the American intervention. Boeing CH-47 Chinook. A massive twin-rotor lifter captured after the American withdrawal. It moved dozens of soldiers. It became a vital asset for the North's final victory. Up next, Hughes OH-6 Cayuse, a small scout known for its agility. This captured loach could weave through trees. It was used to find hidden US positions in the deep jungle. Now this is the Bell OH-58 Kiowa, a light scout taken from the south. It served as a vital eye in the sky for the North. It could maneuver in tight spaces to watch US troop movements. Moving on to transport and logistics. Douglas C-47 Skytrain, a legendary transport essential for North Vietnamese logistics. It moved cargo across the country. It was a reliable tool against the American blockade. Ilyushin Il-14. This transport was built for the tough jungle airfields of the North. It flew missions despite the US bombing. It was a solid and rugged machine. Antonov An-24, a turboprop used for long-range supply missions for the North. It was reliable and fast. It helped the North maintain its logistics against the US. Lockheed C-130 Hercules, the ultimate transport seized after the American retreat. It carried massive loads into short runways. It remains a prize from the war with the US. Fairchild C-123 Provider. This transport was designed for rough jungle strips. Captured after the war, it moved heavy cargo. It was a sturdy airframe used against its creators. Fairchild C-119 Flying Boxcar. This twin-tail plane was seized from southern airfields. It was used to drop supplies to North Vietnamese troops. Its cargo hold was highly efficient. Douglas C-54 Skymaster. A large 4-engine lifter taken from the south. It was used for long-range logistics for the north. It was a vital asset in the post-war era. Now this is the Cessna 402, a light transport used for quick utility missions. Captured from the south, it was nimble and fast. It moved small teams across the war-torn nation. Moving on to observation and reconnaissance, Beriev B-6. This flying boat patrolled the coast for the north. It watched for US Navy ships in the Gulf of Tonkin. It could stay on the water for days. Cessna 01 Bird Dog, a slow scout used to spot US positions for the North's artillery. It circled over the jungle. It was a captured tool for finding hidden enemies. Cessna 02 Skymaster. This unique twin-engine scout was seized from the south. It was very reliable for spotting US units. It became a reconnaissance asset for the north. Cessna U-17 Skywagon, a rugged plane that landed on rough dirt strips. Captured from the south, it supplied remote jungle outposts. It was perfect for the North's mobile war. Aero AE-45. This Czech aircraft gave the North light transport and communication. It helped coordinate resistance against the US air war. It was a modern, sleek machine. Finally, we have training and early war specialized aircraft. Yakovlev Yak-18. This primary trainer built the foundation of the North's Air Force. It taught the pilots who would later fight the US. It was very stable and easy. Nanchang CJ-6. A sturdy Chinese trainer used to prepare the North for the air war. It was reliable and tough. Many pilots began their fight against the US here. Yakovlev Yak-11. A powerful trainer that felt like a real fighter. It prepared North Vietnamese pilots for jets. It was the final step before facing American Phantoms. Aero L-29 Delphine. The first jet experience for the North's pilots. It was forgiving and reliable. This trainer paved the way for the jet battles against the US Air Force. Zlin Z-226. An agile trainer used to teach dogfighting maneuvers to the north. It had excellent control. It was vital for learning how to outturn American fighter jets. Then, Cessna 172. Captured units were used for basic training by the North. They were simple and reliable. They were a common sight in the aftermath of the American War. De Havilland Tiger Moth. An old biplane used in the earliest days of the North's Air Force. It was the humble beginning of the resistance against the coming US intervention. Then, Fiesler Fi-156 Stork. This plane took off from tiny jungle clearings. It was used by the North for early scouting. It could hide from US eyes in the thickest canopy. Tachikawa Ki-54, a Japanese relic used for early transport by the North. It served as a bridge for the fleet. It was used before the arrival of Soviet and US jets.